Will you introduce me then? Is it
Yeah, I'll just go ahead. We're live. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the second workshop of the Movement Labs Hackathon. Very excited to kick it off with Andy. Welcome back, Andy. I know we met in the workshop one, which was an introduction to movement and the tech stack. This one is going to be about advanced dapp deployment in Move using the tech stack. And yeah, I'll pass it on to Andy. But if anyone has any question during the course of the workshop, feel free to put it in the chat and we'll take it up. Just also as a refresher and more introduction to the Move hackathon. The prize pool for the hackathon is worth 45K, which is a mix of the fiat and token. And yeah, super excited to do it with Move. Move brings the Move VM to Ethereum, creating a very secure, scalable, and developer friendly blockchain infrastructure. But yeah, that's like a little refresher from my end. Andy, on to you. Feel free to introduce yourself, your expectations from the hackathon, and then set context for the workshop today.
all right? Awesome. Thank you, Mashika. I really appreciate the introduction and the platform. DoraHacks, just a little personal background. I first used DoraHacks for a hackathon on Solana in December. It was a gaming hackathon, which I won a couple of tracks in. I won some prizes, and it was a very good experience. And DoraHacks offered a lot of sort of extras, like they had a lot of like community could vote on the projects, and there were a lot of ways to connect with the sponsors of the tracks who were developing infrastructure at the time. And so yeah, big shout out to DoraHacks, and thank you very much, for the platform. I wanted to point out here, let me present. I'll share my screen. I'll share my entire screen here. And are you seeing my screen?
Not yet.
Let's see. Okay, not yeah. Let's see. So I think maybe I have to click on this one. Let's see. Oh, what's this? Okay, so it's not showing my screen.
No, not yet. I think there
Okay.
might be a permission issue. So you might have to like allow first and then rejoin if it doesn't work.
Okay, let me see. I'll do present here, share screen, and first try entire screen. How about now?
Um, yes, now I can.
We're good. Okay, great. So I noticed that we have 136 hackers here for the hackathon, and I'm incredibly excited for that. It's just a great joy to see. I remember the one I was in, it had 300 or so hackers, and we got about 30 builds. Our goal for this that we set initially was just 6 builds, which I understand is kind of conservative, but we wanted to make sure we could exceed our expectations. And to see 136 hackers already is incredible. So thank you, thank you, thank you, all the hackers who signed up. I'd like to highlight an example of a build in progress that someone who did art with me before contributed, and he's asking me for my help, and he built this using React, and it's just like a front end, for having a DAO based on Move. And I told him I would help him because I really want to help builders get their projects across the finish line. So I thought this workshop today could be a great opportunity to do a workshop on a DAO, so like a voting system in Move. And so that's the workshop Jordan, my teammate at Movement, DevRel advocate, developer, blockchain advocate, couldn't make it. He had an internet outage today, but I was going to do the main workshop anyway, so I'll just do an outline here. So mainly, one, we want to cover unit testing in Move, which is something more advanced than last week's workshop. And I should mention also what we looked at last time, which was, let me see if I can click on this. Yeah. Was this repository, the Movement Labs XYZ Movement DApp workshop, which has iterations of dapps for socialfi or chat on the blockchain, like just being able to have a chat room, which you could extend to do whatever kind of socialfi app that you want. So just a basic full stack dapp in Move, and this one was in Next.js. So definitely check that out. That was a great workshop Jordan and I did together a few days ago. But so today we want to extend it and be able to build a voting system. So I found a contract which is from Aptos Move by Example. Big shout out to them. And they're at movedevelopersdao.gitbook.io. You can just Google like Move voting system, Aptos Move by Example, and you can find it. Or I'll even put the link in the chat here. There we go. So the link's in the chat for everyone. So our goals, we want to do unit testing in Move, full stack implementation of a novel dapp, just something new, and maybe iterating on contracts in Move. So say you want to release a new version of your contract, you want to make some significant changes to it, that's something that we can also hit in this workshop. So for the voting system, let's see, I could start by showing you what we're going to build. I believe I actually still have it running at like localhost 303. Yeah. So, all right. It's not showing the final state, but it's basically like a very quick voting dapp. Like the artist who is working for me, who has already started working on a dapp, is working on a front end for a DAO that might look something like this, or even nicer. This is kind of his first draft of the front end. But you see, you have an area here where you could put proposals and just see information about them. So this right here is what I'm like kind of doing to iterate and test the voting dapp. So to get started, all right, so first we want to release a new contract. So what I did was I took this voting contract and I made a Move file for it. So I'll navigate into, let me see, I guess that's good there. So I'll go Aptos. So I'm going to run Aptos init again. And I'm going to actually, no, I'm not going to overwrite it. I'm just going to make a new contract. So we're going to hit the last part first. So one thing that would happen was, so I ran a test of this voting dapp, and it was already completed. So it just kind of doesn't show the data anymore. So sometimes you want to just release a new contract. And in Aptos Move in particular, you want to just have a new version of your contract. So like in this case, I'm going to copy the file and then just paste it. And for simplicity, I'll call it, let's see, voting 2. All right, so, and then I'll rename the module. Instead of voting, I'll just call it voting 2. Normally, I'd probably give it a descriptive name. So you can think of each contract being like one election. Like each time you run an election, you want a contract for that specific voting experience. So let me see now if we do Aptos Move Publish. I'll show you just because this is totally DevNet. If we look up our account on Movement Explorer right now, so just see what's already on chain for this address. Let me change that to DevNet. So our Explorer is kind of in an experimental stage. But, oh wait, I need to actually put that in. Yeah. Perfect. So we see the module for voting here. So under D voting, which is the package name, we see voting is the module I already deployed. And that was just a test run I did. And it was like basically one election that I kind of ran. So if we go to back after we added this new module, and we do, oh, excuse me. If we do Aptos Move Publish and hit yes, looks like it executed successfully. So now if I refresh the Explorer, oops, again, little hiccup in the Explorer, which we're working out. But now when we look at the modules which are deployed, oops, let me see. Let me just double check here what address this deployed to. All right, so it said it was all good. All right, so it should be good to go. I think maybe the Explorer's just like taking a minute to update. But so we deployed a new contract. So that was the original source contract that I got from this tutorial, Aptos Move by example. Now, what we want to do is link the front end to that contract. So I have this voting dapp that I forked, by the way. I'll send you the a link to the dapp that I forked for this. So that's important. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in the chat as well. So this is like original dapp forked for this demo. This on-chain bio dapp is pretty solid. It's just letting someone put their bio on chain. It's a Create React app. So yeah, it's pretty good. So what we'll do is, I'm just curious though, like if I refresh this, is it Yeah, sorry about our all right, let me get the address, but all right, so let me see. So under D voting, our account address is 281. I just want to double check if it showed up yet. All right, no, it didn't. Okay, so yeah, so I'm not sure if that means it's not on chain or if the Explorer is having issues, but we can test it. So the voting dapp, I made some changes which I'll push for the demo, but let me just see. Need to put, okay, so the constant is D voting, and then in the app, what we have is we just have everything in app.tsx, and I just modified the bio for the voting dapp, and so here it says like function, okay, for initialized vote, it says function D voting, and then that's the address where that module was deployed. And then I'm going to put voting 2 right there and initialize with candidate. And I'm going to make the candidate OX2F. So just to make sure we understand what's going on there, let's look at the contract, and I'll clean up this repo before I share it. But this contract function initialize with candidate, it takes the candidate list, which is our list of candidates, which has a mapping of their address, that is their Aptos address, and then a number, a U64, and that represents how many votes they got. Then there's just this candidate list, which is a simple vector of addresses, and then the winner, which is a single address. Okay, so when we initialize with candidate, we're going to do the things in this function, such as these assert checks, which one goal of our talk today is unit testing and move. So one really important part of unit testing is these assert statements. So it's saying like assert is owner address, which we can look at that, which is this function here, assert is owner, where they pass in an address, which was they said let address equals signer, which is the address of ACC. So they're saying like they're passing in a reference to the signer, which is the entity signing the transaction, and then they let this variable address take the value of the address of the signer. And then they say assert is owner, which they call that function assert is owner, which asserts that the address is this at my address X, which is right here, my address is actually in the it basically is like the address that is the deployer of the contract or the publisher of the contract, because that's called a named address in Aptos. So you are asserting that only the person or the owner of the address who published the contract can actually initialize an election or initialize a vote. Okay, so that's first check. And then there's also a check to make sure that this election is not initialized yet. So then you populate the candidate list and move the candidate list to the account that signed the transaction, that deployed the transaction. So even though Movement Explorer didn't show the module deployed, I'm not sure if it's maybe having a sync issue or something, or if maybe I made some sort of error. But if we go to the voting app and we change this to voting 2, so that contract that we just published, then let's see if it works. So that's for the initialize vote function. So let's see, just see what happens. Okay, so it says module not found. Okay, so yeah, maybe there was some issue with how I deployed it. Let me check it out here. So, all right, so I'm gonna check my. All right, so my Aptos config is this app account 2, and then all right, senders here. Doing Aptos move publish. All right. Let me just double check. I mean, I think that's what I was looking at. All right. Let me see. So if we go, well, let me just do Aptos init and just try a new address, I guess. Not quite sure what happened there, but all right. So for my REST endpoint, should be Aptos devnet m1.movementlabs.xyz. All right. All right, just need the HTTPS there. And I'm not entering a private key, so it'll just generate a new one for me. So now the config.yaml has been updated. Okay, so now if I run aptos move publish, let me see what happens. My apologies to anyone if you can see what I'm doing and any mistake I made, and it's just like some obvious thing. All right, so that says it was executed successfully. All right, it says the sender of that transaction was this as well? The 2F address. All right, let me check it out. Yeah, that's this account. So let's see. All right, so it's just showing that one module deployed. All right, so let's see. Well, one thing I could do. All right, so let's see. So it's in this folder. This is my config. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it does look good. Let me just try from this other directory. If we try from voting dapp, let's see if we do just config. Sorry, appdos init. All right, let me just get the endpoint address again. All right, so we got that there, and then I guess I'll just create a new file in my sources, and I'll call it voting one.move. I'll name it that, and I'll copy module code in there. Okay, so now let's see if I can publish that. All right, so no such file or directory. Let me see here. All right, so I need to cd into the move folder, and then should be able to publish. All right, so when we do that, we need to do named addresses. See, it's telling us that my address is not assigned a value. So we can look in our appdos file, our config.yaml, and we can get our address, which I think I need to also put in here. Let me see. It's my in the move.toml, so it should be my addrx equals, and then you post it in. You want that 0x in front of it, just in case it needs to be hexadecimal. And then you, for named addresses, you want to do my x equals. It might yell at us for not having an on-chain bio as a named address as well. All right, so module address does not match sender. All right, so maybe I could just like delete these other modules. And then I wouldn't, have to worry about the on-chain bio ones. Let's see. I'm not sure that I can do that. I might need to just start a fresh project to do this. Cannot delete a module. Okay. All right. So why don't I just go back? I'll just create a new repo. Voting one. And then we'll do appdos init in there. Good. All right. Mhm. All right, so it's, I guess, it's good practice to go through, at least, seeing this, like just how to initiate repos and that sort of thing. Okay, so now I'll open that in code, and all right, cool. So we do have an appdos config here. So then I'll do appdos move init. So this is how you would just start a brand new appdos project. So like appdos move init. I'll just call it voting one for now. Okay, so, and notice it opens it like right in that same folder. It doesn't, or that directory, it doesn't create a new directory. So then I'll take my contract code and paste it again into my sources. I'll just create a new file, call it voting1.move. Okay, we'll save that. And then in move.toml, I'm going to put my account address. So I guess this is called voting one. So, all right, so for my addresses, I'll say voting one equals 0x, and then all that. So then we'll go, let's see if I have an appdos move publish in here. So I do appdos move publish, named addresses, and then you go voting one equals, then it should be this address, and ideally is not assigned a value. Yeah, my fault. It should be my address, the name of the package, not the name of the module that gets the address. All right, so let's try that. All right. All right, looks like it worked. So sender is B11 address, and my sincere apologies if anyone was like just trying to help me in the chat or something. How secure is Move compared to Solidity? Ask anyone who got their account drained from like a contract several days later in Solidity and like the EVM and all that stuff. I mean, I've never heard of that happening on Move. Yeah, to me, like Move is just a completely, different world as far as security goes. But yeah, that's a good question. So let me just see. Oop. Okay, so this account better have a module published to it. Great. Okay, voting one. Awesome. So now what we'll do is we'll configure our front end to use this contract. Okay, so this address 0xb11. I've set up something pretty convenient in, let's see if I can find it, the voting dapp. It's in constants.ts. You just put your contract and you paste your contract address, and what that'll do is in your app.tsx you can import it, and I called it devoting, so we can search for that. So it's devoting is it's basically the address where the module is, and we call this voting 1. So let me change that there wherever I see it. But yeah, here, so voting 1, initialize with candidate. We can try that. I want to just fix this fetch bio function. So again, I forked this from the on-chain bio dapp, and so you'd want to go through and change the names of things accordingly. But okay, voting 1. Okay, that's the one I just changed. All right, let's see if it works now, because I think there's a good chance it might at this point. Oh, but also to initialize it, the contract, you need to be using the same address. That's another catch. So Aptos is more like a little more controlling about the addresses. So let me take my private key. I'm gonna need to actually load this wallet in Petra. So you go to your Petra wallet and do accounts, add account, import private key. I don't have any real money on this private key, but all right, so that's this account, OX24, I guess. Is that right? Just double check. No, I think it's this one, right? OXB5. We'll double check here just by checking our config. Oh, okay, our account is, oh, I think I just, my apologies. I just did the wrong one. So the voting one that we just deployed, we want to check the Aptos config there. So yeah, that account was the B11 one. So we want that private key. If we want to deploy the, if we want to initialize a vote. So let me actually put that account in. So import the private key, submit. There we go. OXB1. That's the account that deployed the contract. Let's just double check that. Yeah, OXB11. Okay, cool. So we should be set up for success here. Let's try it. So connect our wallet, the OXB11, the same account that deployed the contract. We'll initialize vote. It looks like it's actually going to let us do it. Let's see. Cool. So candidates and winner. Oh, there are no candidates. Okay, so let's see what was in the, code here. I think I might have started like playing with the code, and that's why. Let me also open up the console, because I think I had a console log going. Yeah, candidate list. Okay, so there is a candidate list. I think I was playing with how to make it display better in the UI, which I don't think we're going to have time to do today, since I had a lot of just various hiccups just getting everything initialized. But you can see there is this array of this 0x2fb address is a candidate. And that's because if we look at our voting dapp, we can see how we were calling that function. So what we do is we import the address from our constants, and then we, in this case, we initialize the vote, right? We had this button, and on click, we initialized the vote. So we had const transaction is import transaction data, which we get from Aptos Labs wallet adapter React. So wallet adapter feature. And we input the data for the function, which function we're calling, and what the arguments are. So what we did is we added that address to the list, and then fetch bio is, it's not returning the addresses right now. Let me just run a vote, because I know we're running over time. So I just want to sort of show like how an election can work, and just at least do a successful election, even though there's only one candidate in this case. Although I guess we could add a candidate. That could be a good thing to do. So again, this contract is voting one. We'll just fix all these. Function vote, so we're voting one, and then declare winner also uses that voting one module. So basically, if we wanted to add a candidate, we could. All right, let's do that. We're going to add this candidate with this address 0xf5. So I'm going to add a candidate, and that looks like it's working. And now we see in our console, even though I was just in the middle of updating our candidate list display so it doesn't show there, we can see both candidates now in our candidate list. So that's good. And we can do a vote. I'm going to vote for, it says E is not initialized. I know what that is for. Probably, I think that's because with vote, you need to say, you need to put the, not just the candidate address. So we're going to vote for 0xf5. But if we look at the move code, we can see in the contract, it's the storage address is the second argument of that function. So that's going to be this address B11. So I'll put that there. All right. Now, if we try again and try to do a vote, it looks like we may be able to. Okay, so we voted, and now we have our candidate list, and it doesn't say the votes. That's what I was trying to update on the front end before I ran out of time before this, but I mainly wanted to show you how everything works under the hood anyway. So now OXF5 should have one vote. So what we want to do is declare the winner. And again, only the contract publisher can do this. And it'll do it through the move code that you can see in the voting one module in the contract there. So it's going to do some math and make sure that the winner has enough votes. So yeah, declare winner has no arguments, actually, I believe. So yeah, it's just done completely deterministically based on the voting. And if we approve it, boom, there we go. The winner, 0xf5. So I'll clean up this contract and the dapp, and I'll fork it into probably a completely different repo. And we're sort of working out how to organize these example dapps. But as you can see, what we have done is completed a decentralized election. We created a voting dapp in under an hour, including just a lot of issues, which I think if Jordan was on the call with me, he'd probably be like, just, yeah, that you just like put that as a module address instead of the package address. So my apologies for some of the hiccups, but I think it was good for you to see how I debugged those and how I got to deploy the app successfully and run a simulation of an election with a winner reported in a decentralized manner on the blockchain. So I hope this was, in its realisticness, it was useful to see me working through issues, and that was beneficial for everyone. So that's the demo I have. I'd say, like, if you want to get in touch and connect, and as you can see, I only did that because my a person who I was working with asked for my help on it. So I said, okay, yeah, let me do this voting dapp. That just happened, the other day. So I found him a contract. I just, as you can see, I just successfully deployed it and ran a simulated election. So if you're a hacker and you're working on this, join Movement Discord. Let me know what you're working on. We have a couple awesome new DevRel hires, including a senior DevRel engineer named Rahat, who's eager to work with you as well. We have a lot of support. The prize pool has just increased by $10,000 to $45,000. As you saw, even if you're having issues, like I just worked them out in under an hour just deploying. So any issues you're having, your DevRel, and Movement's going to help you work it out. So hope that was useful for everyone. I'll publish the code for that decentralized voting front end, and I'll make it look a little better too before releasing. And yeah, hope that was really beneficial for everyone.
Thanks a lot, Andy. I see a lot of Gmove in the chat, so big W to everyone.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I must not be able to see it. Oh, there's the comments. Oh my gosh, this is awesome. So much Gmove. Thank you, Moving Overdrive. Yeah, I trimmed the beard, but it's not gone. This is more like the testnet Olympus prep beard. So yeah, thanks Moving Overdrive for that. And awesome to see all the comments. This is great.
Yeah, thanks everyone for joining in. And yeah, like Andy said, there is a Movement Labs Discord in the detail page of the hackathon. So go over there, jam with the developers, share your ideas, ask anything. If you're stuck anywhere, feel free to ask, and reach out to the Movement team. And yeah, you have I see now you have less than a month, so put your hacker hats on, and I wish you all the best, everyone. Thanks a lot, Andy. Take care. Bye bye, everyone.